Once upon a time there was a miser. And the miser lived in a big house and he loved gold. He loved his gold. It was him in one room, his gold in another, and the rest of the house was empty. And he used to love almost nothing more than going into that room and counting all his gold. But the thing that he loved more than gold was music. And he had a gramophone. And he used to like to sit there with his gramophone and he used to wind it up. Like a record, like a huge compact disc, if you remember far enough back then. He would wind it up. And he would take the needle and put it on. And he would listen to the beautiful music. And he would sit, it was beautiful music. And he would sit and listen to the beautiful music, and he would love to do this. So between counting his gold, he would then sit down. Until one day, it had broken. So he went down to the town. He took his gramophone with him. He went down to the shop where you buy and sell gramophones. And he said, "This is broken. I want a new one." And the man said, "Well, we don't make those anymore, but we have these lovely new sound systems for you." And he told him how much it was going to be. And he said, "That's ridiculous. I'm not paying that amount of money. I love my gold. I love my music, but I love my gold more." So instead, he took his gramophone back and he ran down to the orphanage. And he found a young boy and he said, "Boy, you're going to come home with me and you're going to wind the gramophone. When it stops working, you will wind the gramophone." So the boy sat there and he would wind. And the boy would wind it. But is it a very interesting thing to wind a gramophone?
No.
It was boring and the boy got bored. So the boy forgot to wind it. So the man went back to the town and he bought a dog from the dog pound. And he trained the dog to bark and snarl at the boy when the boy forgot to wind the gramophone. So now we have But the boy and the dog made friends, and eventually the dog stopped barking as the boy became good friends with the dog. So he went back to the orphanage and he found a young girl, and he said to the girl, "Here's a stick. When the dog forgets to bark, you beat the dog, so the dog will bark. Dog will bark, boy will wind, and I can listen to my wonderful music." So now So this we have. But of course, the girl didn't really like beating the dog and became friends with the dog. And while she was doing this, the man was running around the house and having to grow more food in his garden to feed the boy and the dog and the girl. So he had to hire a housekeeper to look after the boy and the dog, the boy and the girl, and also to feed the dog. And so he had to spend more money and get more food to feed the housekeeper, to feed the girl and the boy and the dog. He suddenly realised that his pile of gold was going down. So he got rid of his housekeeper. He sent the girl and the boy back to the orphanage. He took the dog back to the pound, and he took his gramophone back into the shop and said, "I will have one of those new small music systems, and I will take that home, and here is the money." And he went home and he would put his small listening device, and he would listen to his beautiful music. Which was digitally perfect. But it wasn't quite as much fun listening to it anymore now, just sat on his own in a room. So what did he do? He went back to the orphanage, and he found the boy and he found the girl, and he invited them to come back to his house as his son and his daughter. He went back to the dog pound and repurchased the dog, and no beating was allowed. And he went and found the housekeeper and asked her initially if she'd come back and help look after everybody, but eventually, of course, they fell in love and they married. The whole family would sit around listening to the beautiful music, and they all lived
happily ever after.